So, dear devotees, good morning. So today's topic is about metta and how we can live in harmony with kindness, with love. So I'd like to ask a question. Even now, as you sit here, you just look around, just look at your friend around you. How many of you are smiling? First, all are very serious, right? Yeah. So, when we look at this word, metta, right, or loving kindness, or even the word love, right? Alright, so first, of course, all people actually are yearning for love. But the word love, if we do not come to Dhamma, we may interpret it very differently. Yeah? And the love that we are looking forward, or the happiness sometimes that we are looking forward, is always carry the word I love because. Do you think so? Yeah? When you meet your boyfriend or girlfriend, you say, I love you because you have such beautiful eyes. Or I love you because you're handsome. Or I love you because you're rich, you're famous. Yeah? So I love because. Right? Hardly is it, I love you the way you are. Isn't it? So this is where, even from very young, we are taught. Yeah? We are taught, may not be the right truth that we learn about humanity. But we are taught from young because we do not know the Dhamma. Yeah? We do not know the Dhamma, therefore the terms that, or the qualities that we are going after is not as happy as we think, it's not as wonderful as we think, but because it was so common, it was so being practiced by most people, so we think that's the way, right? So that's why when we, from young, I think even for those who are now becoming parents, now you're grandparents, when you look back the way we teach our children, when children, at the beginning, they have very pure mind. Yeah? And you see when they are about 2, they start talking about, this is mine, this is my mother's one, this is my brother's one. Yeah? They start to have the concept, I, my, mine, right? And then, next, now if you observe also, a lot of parents, when they teach their children, you go to a restaurant, you observe, what they ask their children? What do you think normally the parents will ask their children in a restaurant? What do you like? Right? In the old days, did our parents ask us, what do you like? No, right? They will prepare the food very kindly too, and as they serve, everybody eat, right? No problem, right? We eat, right? We grow up, right? Also still happily also sometimes. Yeah? Even though the choice may not be a lot, but very happy. Yeah? But nowadays, when we teach our children, starting with this like, what do you like? Being children, they are so pure, clear. And we start to tame them with this like. Yeah? When you like, I give you, happy or not? Happy, right? But if you like and you haven't get it, happy or not? Not happy, right? But if you like, I don't give you, you get angry, right? So this is a very important thing that we have to really look into, the way how we raise our children. Yeah? And especially nowadays. Yeah? And some parents may think, oh, we must give them the freedom to choose. Right? But if they're so young and they're not taught properly, and not even know what is right, what is not wholesome, and you start to give them to choose. Do you think it's right? Yeah? So when we start with like and dislike, that's what the Buddha said, we bring about our suffering. Yeah? Because from young, they do not know what actually is essential, what is important, what is not so important. But already we tame them with the liking and disliking. Yeah? So again, we have to really look back. I remember one incident, we bring the children out for camp, just outing. And then suddenly I realized, even the teacher, when we offer them the food, they say, do you like this? And some teachers, they look at it, some students, they look at it. So that's the end of the story. Like, dislike. You look at it, you don't know what it is, whether it's good for your health or not good, or whether it's tasty or not tasty. Straight, you look at it, you don't like. So that's the end of the story. But that's why then I told the teacher, can you please not ask them? It's a food. Yeah? And this food is prepared also with kindness. It's edible. Yeah? And maybe you should change the strategy and say, just tell them whatever it is. Like let's say, I give example, very simple example, it's just like you want to introduce a food. Yeah? This is just an example to start with. Yeah? You may just ask the children, let's say you want to introduce a banana to them. Maybe some of them have eaten before, some of them have not. But you want to introduce banana. So if you straight say, do you like this? Then they look at it, because they have never taken banana before. So if you ask like that, means the end of the story, if they say no. Right? But if you try to introduce in a way that, this is, you take and demo, this is a banana. Yeah? And this banana, how the banana grow up, how the banana, take its fruition, how many at one time, let's say, and then, it take how long to ripe, and then this banana, what benefit can it, give to us, and how you eat, how you consume, and how it keep you healthy. And then at the end, they say, let's have banana. Do you think they will eat? More likely, right? So again, this is the same way as we teach our children whatever that we want to bring them up with, because a proper guidance, a proper education is very important. Yeah? So if you straight, like I say, in future, please do not ask them what do you like. Yeah? Introduce them properly, because they are growing up. They are like a plain paper. Whatever color you put on them, they will become. So they're so pure. So if you put all the wholesome, all the good properly, they will grow in a very wholesome way. Yeah? So you don't have to put so much time to put off fire when the fire started, right? So if there's, very cozy, clean, then that's the best time you put all the wholesome, giving them the perspective, what is wholesome, what is unwholesome, so they can always practice the right way. Yeah? So this is about how liking and disliking can cause a lot of suffering in getting upset and getting angry. Right? So just now, do you know why I asked you all to just look around to your friends? Before I ask you, I don't see the people smiling with themselves. Yeah? Because we tend to forget our own happiness. But we are looking forward for happiness. But we don't keep ourselves happy. If we keep ourselves seeking happiness out there, then when are we going to be happy? No object of happiness, not happy. So 24 hours, if you really look around, whole day you observe, how many times you get all the smile and how many times you get all the kind of face which is tired, upset. Which one more? The one that is smiling, even like looking at a smile, you feel charged. Or the one that you look, oh, today this person moody, that person look tired. that person looks upset, that person looks busy. You know, all kinds of, even though you haven't talked to them, but by looking at their face, you know whether they maintain that serenity or that peace or happiness in one mind. Right? So this is very important, that we have to look within us to really find that love, that happiness. Yeah? And because in the past, our parents, some of them may have Dhamma before, but most of us, we are born in a traditional Chinese way of raising up children, right? So our parents may not have the fortune to listen to the Dhamma, just like what you all have today. And indeed, sadhu, because you take the effort to come. Yeah. Many people don't take the effort. Yeah. For Dhamma talk, maybe have 30, 40 people. If you go to one Uttama now, you think how many people there? Maybe 300, 400 people, right? Yeah. So you see, we choose happiness, but we don't know what happiness is really all about. Yeah. And most of us, we think happiness comes from sensual pleasure. Yeah. But because of that wrong understanding, then we still couldn't find that peace, that happiness. Yeah. True happiness lies within your heart, nowhere else. If you're happy inside, the whole world is happy. If you're not happy inside, even the whole world is now, having that peace, still you won't feel the happiness. So the focus has to be right. Yeah? And the world nowadays, every day, if you look at newspaper, you get paranoid, right? You look at newspaper, you look at WhatsApp now, every day they can pop up, right? They pop up the news for you, the latest news for you. Anything making happiness or keep telling you about this person, quarrel with that person is trying to take advantage on another person, that person is creating accusation, so many things. Does it bring happiness? The more you read, the more you become paranoid. Thinking, this thing is going to happen. That things, may bring disharmony. Safety may be affected. Yeah? Economy may not be stable. So those kind of thoughts keep pumping into the mind. So I would suggest, if you have nothing good to read, don't read. Imagine, if normal time, if you take your food and you don't know which one is nutritious food, which one is toxic food, or which one is junk food, you just consume any kind of food, what will happen to your body? Now the worst is people don't know what is nutritious food. They just take whatever food, or maybe they like certain food which is actually junk food. Right? So what happens to the body if you consume a lot of junk food? Food that doesn't bring nutrients to your body, that helps your strength. Then the body becomes weak and sick. Right? So imagine, if you feed your mind with junk information or junk thoughts, what will happen to your mind? It becomes weak also, isn't it? So you must be wise to choose. Yeah? And especially in our time, it comes to your front. Yeah? That's why we say, our life is in our hand. Now our hand is with the handphone. Horrible. Huh? That's why the word we can say, our life is in our hand. Now we lost that. Even we lost our hand. Our hand is all the time with the handphone. And then it keep popping up, non-stop. Yeah? So just now we were in a car, and Sister Camping drive me, we were talking about, when we work in the past, we always think that no choice. Yeah? And our boss, even 12 at night still ring us, SMS us, expecting us to respond to them. So I share, I say, so when I'm working, I tell my boss, after 9 p.m., sorry, my phone is off. Yeah. Why? If they don't want to rest, that is their problem. But we have a choice to rest. Yeah. So work is work. Yeah. And you must know when to keep or to help your body and your mind to rest and recharge. The whole life is not about work. Huh? If the whole life is about work, that's why you see that younger and younger generation get sick. Right? Why? Because they don't know how to allocate time. Our body build-up has its own clock. Time to sleep must sleep. Time to eat must eat. Time to rest must rest. Time to work, of course, work. Yeah? But nowadays, we don't know. Even this simple way of living, we do not know. But we are saying we are in the era of high technology, advanced knowledge, information. But the basic, we do not know. Scary, isn't it? So we live like a zombie. Robot, not human. Even as a human, we forget our humanity. Yeah, so this is the danger. So come to love, we say. Yeah. We also forget about that. We forget about ourselves because the thoughts that come into our mind is always about, do you always have this thought? I'm so busy. I'm busy. I have no time. I have no choice. Often this will come to your mind. Or it comes to your mind, how nice, how peaceful, how grateful, So we have to check our thoughts. Okay? So coming to this, that's why this is a very important thing that we learn as a Buddhist. The Buddha talks about the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay? So just now I give you a bit of scenario how chaotic our life is, and we really have to reflect on that. Because if we don't, nobody is going to do it for you. Yeah? If you look at a family to seek happiness, sorry, they are also into that chaotic, situation. Yeah? So we may live, but every day we pass by just like a zombie. Yeah? Day in, day out, and sometimes when I wake up from the bed, we start to think again, what? Another day again. Not looking forward to, It's like, again, no choice, being pulled to live, to drag your life through again and again and again. Right? So now come to our mind, we have to always also look within. The Buddha said, if we can see that whatever that happened to our body and mind, all the people around us, there's this reflection that they always have to do, and this is where the Buddha said, how we can even like in whatever state that you are in, whether you are lay or monastic, every day we reflect on this. Yeah? If you seek happiness, you have to really look into this. The Buddha said, number one, if I'm subject to aging, and I seek happiness in someone who also ages, can I find happiness? Peace? What do you think? The Buddha have this thought, if I'm subject to aging and decay, and I seek happiness in someone or something that also subject to aging and decay, can I find the happiness? Cannot, right? This is very simple. Sometimes you see a married couple, first you say, I love you, then the wife get older a bit or start got wrinkle, they say, don't love anymore. You also get old, but you seek someone, happiness in someone that gets old. Or, because of aging, then that aging itself will bring about change in the bodily capacity. Let's say another person, your couple also, husband start to become down. Can you see happiness in aging in that way? Difficult, right? Yeah. The next question you have to contemplate is, if I'm subject to sickness, Yeah. If I seek happiness in someone or something that is also subject to sickness, can I find the happiness? Cannot, right? But the Buddha said, if I'm subject to death, and I also seek happiness in someone or something that is also subject to death, can I find the happiness? No. Then the Buddha said, if I'm subject to sorrow, lamentation, pain, distress, and despair, and I find happiness in also someone that is also subject to sorrow, lamentation, pain, distress, and despair, can I find that happiness? Again, no. So now we say everything also no, right? Then what to do now? Right? So then the Buddha taught, if I cannot find happiness in all this, then I should seek to find that which is ageless, which is sickness, which is deathless, which is not subject to lamentation, all this pain, despair, which is also unbinding, means free. Then maybe I will find that happiness, right? So this is where the Buddha named it as, if we seek for the first group just now, you are also subject to it and you seek happiness in that, that is called an ignoble search. You're searching in life also, but that search is called ignoble. But if you think again, if that is not possible to find happiness, and you set your mental state to seek for something that is ageless, sickness, deathless, and then free from that entanglement of pain, despair, and also unbinding, is not got caught and trapped. So then that is called noble search. Means you are seeking something to really free yourself, to that have tranquility and peace of mind. That kind of happiness, not the kind of thrill, stimulated happiness, but a true happiness that can last you a long, long time. Not only this life, next life, next life, until you attain enlightenment. So if you look at the Buddha image, the Buddha is always smiling. So keep in mind, when you're down, always remember the Buddha smiling. So give yourself a smile. Right? So that is how we can help ourselves. So number one, we must have that kind of thought. What are we heading to? Because if not, then, like I say, chaos, hatred, a lot of unhappiness that's around us. When you meet your relatives, what are they telling you? Mother-in-law will talk about daughter-in-law like this lah, that lah. Then daughter-in-law will talk mother-in-law, father-in-law like this, like that lah. Then you will talk about your boss like this, like that lah. Then boss will talk my stuff like this, like that lah. So all about complaints, right? Nothing much good, Isn't it? Did you hear that every day? Teacher will complain about student will complain about teacher lah. And children also will talk about their parents lah. So you see, no end. It's reality, isn't it? But if this is the search that we are going through, we are going to be round and round again and again in that situation. We will never come out to be free. The mind is trapped and tangled. So there is a way out. That's why the Buddha, after his search, and he found the truth, and he shared with us how we can lead our life free from that kind of entanglement. So this is where we say noble search. So you must first have that thought to search what is noble. Ignoble search will bring you to a lot of suffering. And suffering here means what? Like I say, you have a lot of likes, dislike, that again will bring you upset, angry. And then the craving also will bring you a lot of unsatisfactoriness in life. And then ignorance is worse because it will go in cycle, to bring about, your ego and your grasping, yeah. And so these are the things that we can avoid actually, because there is a choice for true happiness. So the Buddha actually first teach the first sermon that is so important. So the Buddha said, number one, the first teaching, a lot of people thought, Buddha said the first teaching is Four Noble Truths. Before getting there, the Buddha's number one teaching is, free yourself from indulgence, the extreme of indulgence in sensual pleasure. Then, free yourself means avoid, abstain from extreme of self-mortification. In the past, we can see sensual pleasure, I think it's very easy, people know, right? Eye pleasure, ear pleasure, nose pleasure, tongue pleasure, body pleasure. Can you name a few? Eye pleasure, what are they? Now, eye pleasure, what are the eye pleasure?
See beautiful things.
Huh? Beautiful things. I think now the eye pleasure is, their eye is always hooked on the handphone. 24 hours, except that they are very tired and they sleep. You think so? They sit with the handphone. Work also, handphone at the side. Eat also, handphone in front. Go toilet also, handphone is there. True or not? Not so much of anything, huh? You observe and then you reflect on yourself whether you are like that or not. Ear pleasure? Also handphone, right? You see a lot of youngsters?
Headphones.
They plug and headphones, they don't even know what happened beside them. If you go to LRT or MRT, even if you do anything there, nobody notice. All plug. They are deaf to the world. Again, they find the pleasure there. Third, nose. Nose. Last time people go for perfume a lot, Now aromatherapy. Sleep must have certain, smell, right? But in the past we smell the nature, so fresh, right? So healthy. Tongue. That's why everybody go restaurant. First thing is eye pleasure, right? They say, wait. Take one photo first. Right? Second, they want people to know what they eat. Right? So, tongue pleasure, because of that, they can go very far to eat. Now very famous. They say, okay, organize a trip, one-day trip to, let's say, Malacca, eat a chicken ball of meat. Everybody will go all the way to eat one chicken ball meat. Now durian, yes. Go all the way to Rao. You say, come to the temple, meditate one day. They will start thinking, no fun, you say. See, tongue pleasure can bring you anywhere. Even travel 4 hours. Sometimes, my devotee say, hey, come on, come and join the talk. I stay in Glen, very far. You tell them if they're a durian lover, you say, hey, I got durian, after the retreat, I think they will come. You see? Because tongue pleasure, right? Body? You go anywhere, or got massage or not, leg tired, hair tired, every day tired. And then at home, now very fashionable. Of course you have a massage machine, but in your living room, now people have couch. You think healthy or not? That's why if your children want to choose career, I think now the best is become a chiropractic expert. A lot of people are having problems because of that. Because of wrong posture. With the handphone, with the TVs, with everything. So, seeking pleasure, but making their senses even become weaker. You see, Don't stop. That's why nowadays very young, all wear spec already. Year 8. Do you observe? Why? All is because of seeking pleasure. So they don't use the eyes for the purpose, right purpose. Even very tired, you still watch. And now worse, isn't it? They don't have to have light. You think they're sleeping, right? They close the blanket and then they keep watching. Right? So these are the things that, again, as an education, very important for parents to help our children to grow properly. So now the first I say, that's why the Buddha said, if you truly want to seek happiness, go for noble search. So the first thing that we know that this suffering comes not because of anything, because we are ignorant about what is needed and what is not, what is essential, what is not essential. So it starts with our thoughts. So first we have the understanding, the view around us that we can actually sort of what we call it, diagnose, deduce, to know what actually is happening around us, how the cause, what is the cause that brings about this kind of unhappiness or sickness or suffering. And then the Buddha showed us a way. There's a way out. So first is to be free from the extreme, indulgence in sense pleasure. Like normal day operation is okay, but not the indulgence. So the more you seek for it, the more you're going to get sick. Right? The more you're going to, what they call, use up the very precious body, human body that you have to seek the noble path. This body is not for us to just come and make good use and don't know how to use, and it can end up very fast. And to be born again as a human is also not so easy, the Buddha said. But not many people know the fortune of being born as a human. How rare it is to be born as a human. So the Buddha said, just like a turtle, a blind turtle in the sea, and every 100 years only come up once, to the surface, and by the time when the head poke up to take a breath, and if in the past you say yoke, when you have a yoke in the sea, and that yoke actually knock on him. But here we just say if you throw a swimming tube into the sea, and this blind turtle come up, and the head actually is just nicely in position in the ring of the tube. How likely would that be? What is the probability? 100 years, come up once. So that is how rare your life to be born as a human. So when you have all these senses, meaning you have a very complete way to discover the higher truth. So if you don't make good use of it, then you will miss it. And to be born again as a human is not so easy. Remember that 100 years only come up once. And to really hit, or in the ring of that swimming tube is not so likely. So when we have all the senses, remember, make good use of it for the right purpose, noble search. So that is indulgence in sensual pleasure. We have to learn to cut down. The second one is, also free yourself from the extreme of self-mortification. In the past, people practice self-mortification to find liberation. They may stand up with one feet, or they may lie on the, what they call a plank of, let's say, nails. They really want to test the body to what kind of extreme, or that the body can take it, and they think that will help to get the liberation. Or they don't eat at all, they fast. During the Buddha's time also, the Buddha tested all. They only eat 1 grain a day. Sometimes their practice is to the austerity of, if the fruit doesn't fall from the tree, they don't eat. So that kind of extreme. So that's why the Buddha also said, don't take, to the practice of the extreme of self-mortification. In modern time, what do you think? Self-mortification, can you figure out? But self-mortification that is happening in the modern world, of course they don't lie down on the nails.
You go gym,
Huh?
gym, weight,
Sorry?
gym, weightlifting, what?
Gym, extreme gym exercise. Yeah, some people they can do gym long hours. But I think the self-motivation in the modern way, I think, is that people do not know how to take rest. They stress themselves to the max. A lot of people now, I think research also show, they are sleeping only maybe 5 hours, especially those who are in a high position. So then 4 hours, and their lifestyle is very different. Sleep at 2, 3 o'clock, wake up, 7, 8 o'clock, go back to work. So their work hours is practically maybe, 18, 19 hours or 20 hours, and they think they can do that. And I've heard many cases, very young, 40 plus, 30 plus sometimes. I have a devotee in Johor. He shared with us. He's a strategist planner, strategist. And he said in his life he has seen 3 cases while meeting, people just drop and then die. Strategies to death, isn't it? So they think they can push. They are okay, they still can go to work. But actually the body is breaking down, only waiting for time. Have you heard last time? I think there's one WhatsApp or something that this lady was writing. They said 3 days she was on internet and she's okay. Then the next day, the news came, she died. The 3rd day, she thought she's a hero. She announced to people that she can last 3 days without sleep with the internet. The 4th day, she just collapsed and died. So this is a modern extreme of self-mortification. And this is the trend. So again, you see, the first teaching of the Buddha is not talking about Four Noble Truths yet. We got to learn to practice to avoid the extreme of sensual pleasure, then the extreme of self-mortification. So know the time when to eat, when to sleep. The best time to eat, 7 to 9 breakfast. Lunch maybe about 12 to 1 something. Dinner 6 to 7. Not dinner, everybody take 8 to 9. Right? Again, they do not know. All this causes a lot of sickness and unhappiness for people to know. So morning again must eat properly with nutritious food. You may not eat a lot, but make sure it's nutritious, essential. Chinese say, 早上吃得好，下午吃得饱，晚上吃得少。I add in supper 吃不好。So means 早上吃得好 means morning you must eat properly, because that is the most important meal to sustain the whole day body. Because at night you're already rested, right? Then 7 to 9 the stomach works the best. Because why? When in 9 to 11, after your stomach already digests everything, then the nutrients will be sent to your spleen to produce blood. Then after that, 11 to 1, that's where your heart, send all this food to all your body system, your organ and everything. So if you don't do that, it does not help your body in a proper, optimum way. At night, don't eat too much. Now, the other way around. Morning, 1 cup of coffee. Lunch, they simply grab anything. At night, only big meal at 8 to 9 o'clock. Then sleep at 2 o'clock. So all out, not in tune with the body system. It's not kind to our body. So you have to know when to eat, when to sleep. So sleep by 11 the best. And then wake up. If you can wake up 7, that's good. 8 hours. If you start at 10, then most likely 6 or 5 something you wake up. So at least 7 hours of sleep. Yeah. So below that 5 hours plus is not good for the heart. Above 9 hours also not good. Some people lazy, they sleep 9 hours, right? More than 9 hours keep sleeping, that is also not healthy, right? So you must know, be kind. So that's why first avoid the extreme of sense pleasure. The second one, avoid the extreme of self-mortification. And next, the Buddha said that walk the middle path. Because you avoid here and avoid here, right? Then walk the middle path. So some people interpret middle path means if 4 glasses of wine, I drink 2. Middle path, you think you're what? 4 then half middle 2. Not like that. So middle path here, the Buddha means noble eightfold path. Again, the word noble come in. That's not noble search, right? Because if you don't go into noble search, you go to ignoble search, you think you can find happiness with the eye pleasure, ear pleasure, nose pleasure, tongue pleasure, body pleasure, then you are going to the ignoble path, and then that causes you suffering, right? So we go noble path, okay, noble search, come to the noble path. Yeah, you search, you must find, right? After you find, you must at least know where to go, right? You got a map how to go, right? So this map is none other than the Noble Eightfold Path. So Noble Eightfold Path start with right understanding. So again, this right understanding, what does it mean? Right understanding is just what I told you. You can see in your life around you, everywhere, that the first noble truth, that is called the noble truth of dukkha, unsatisfactoriness in life. Yeah? Why you can say that? Because sometimes you look around. When people say they don't have money, you think they suffer, right? What do you think? Rich people also suffer or not? Got money, you always suffer? We said no money suffer, right? Got money, then why suffer? So means it's not the money that really brings happiness, is it? But people say, Chinese, what they say? 钱不是万能的, they say. 没有钱万万不能. Money is not the everything, but no money also cannot do anything. So again, strike a balance. So in life, don't just keep searching for money and then you don't care about your well-being. So you must have make good use of it for the well-being, but not to chase after and then you lost your well-being. Okay? So you look around, I say the first noble truth is about noble truth of suffering, dukkha. I say aging is dukkha. Right? Now, as some of you maybe already backache knee pain right? Headache then eye, dry eye you see, aging sickness, when we age, more sickness will come, right? Then death. At our age now, a lot of time we hear parents or grandparents or somebody friends, parents or whatever, even maybe our batch, some already gone. Right? So these are the things that you can see the Buddha say the dukkha. That means the unsatisfactoriness in life. You may chase after certain things, but that is not the answer to your this search of happiness. And so the next is, Buddha said, if you are separated from your loved ones, also you have that suffering. Right? Either separation through any kind of death, or your children, or or you have to leave your parents because you have to go for studying, separation. Some will think, oh, it's so nice, now I can be free to do what I like. But actually for the parents, they feel sad because the children that they have bring up for maybe 18, 20 years and they go. And they go after that, that's it. First 1 month, call back mommy, daddy. After 3 months, mommy, daddy. Then 6 months, then 1 year. True or not? Yeah. So, that kind of attachment you have, it also brings suffering. So separation is also a suffering. And then, If you don't like that person, or but that person in your life, either your children or somebody in your family, also suffering, right? So all this bring about the kind of, because it's already packaged in. You got birth, you got aging, sickness, death. Package. But we always forget the package. We only want the good things from that package, but we always forget that package come along with those things. Yeah? So that's why there is suffering, and this suffering, that package is got birth means got aging means got sickness means got death. And then also with this, you also will experience separation, yeah, from your loved ones. Also is packaged with, you also meet with someone that maybe in your life that is not in line or in tune with you, due to your group karma. Yeah? And then the Buddha say, your wish won't come true. Yeah? Because what wish? We don't want to get old. Who wants to get old? But can you not get old? Can. Die early doesn't mean you don't get old, Every day we born, we actually go through birth, aging, sickness, and death. You know that? Every day. Not until we are old to die. Every day it happens. Or else, if you don't believe, every day you go to the toilet, you watch. That is all our dead self. Every day inside your body, millions of them born, millions of them die. You know that? So you're not only dying once in this lifetime, only our delusion. Because we have different layer of being together in this package. Yeah. So you have to remember, every day is only when we grow older, then the death happens more, less are born in the form of healing. Right? So that's why we say old. Right? But every day, millions and billions of them are born and die. Right? So I used to give an example. Your blood cell only live 3 months, your lifespan. So if 1 year, how many times you are born, age, sick and die? But we don't know that. Means our body, the blood cell, they only live, their lifespan is only 3 months. So means 3 months they're born, right? They age, they sick, they die. Another batch come. Yeah? So it's not like another batch, because every day there are different batch that is coming and living, age, then sick and die. So 1 year, how many times? 4 times, born, age, sick, death. So if you're 50 now, how many times? Already 200 times we go through aging, then sick, death. Fun, We really have to think about it. But now we say, when we live, or maybe die once, 80 years old, already so scary, we don't know where we go, right? Unless we have noble sage, then you will have the confidence. If not, fear will come, anguish will come, despair will come, lamentation will come, pain will come. This is where, that's why I say, we have to know, channel our energy to the noble search, know the noble path. You search, you cannot find the path, also you don't know where to go. Right? So this is very important. So noble path, the Buddha said, first is to have the right understanding. What understanding? The first one is to know there is suffering. If you don't know suffering, that's why you get into suffering. Right? You watch around, many. Right? So know this, and this suffering, the Buddha said, spiritually is because the inherent, that we are grasping at something which is ever changing. Like we are grasping to the body as I, my. Already, if you let's say you are 50 years old, how many times already birth, aging, sickness, die? Who are you? Can you think? That only we talk about red cell. There's so many of them, different groups, this living together. Yeah? So that's why the Buddha say, karma, you cannot think. Oh, this how this karmic things operated. Yeah? It's so complicated. Now we talk like science, you can understand a bit, right? Just like, let's say the throat cell, especially the digestive cell, they only live 3 days, you say. So different group, they are living and dying. It's a process of becoming again and again. Until you know how the way to stop it. Right? So first we have to understand the suffering, the Buddha say. We ought to know that there is suffering, and we must actually fully understand there is suffering. So if you fully understood, then you won't go around the suffering again, right? If you don't fully understand, you will go wrong again. Next, the Buddha said, this suffering doesn't just come like that. There are causes to it. The causes are craving. Again, come back, craving for what? Craving for eye pleasure, ear pleasure, nose pleasure, tongue pleasure, body pleasure. That's how it drives you to become again and again, turning again and again. The second one is craving to become, to exist. Young, you say, I want to be like mommy, daddy. Right? When they're teenage, you think they'll say, I want to be like mommy, daddy. When they're young, you're so happy when you say, I want to be like mommy, I want to be like daddy. Wow, you feel so great. When they're teenage, you think they will say that to you? Who they like to be? Idols, right? K-pop lah, don't know what. They don't want to be like you already. They want to be like those idols. Right? So when they go to college, what they want to be? You went through too. I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a professor, I want to be, right? Finish that? Then they say, I want to be a successful person. So you define that success in a way that a career, then getting a partner, or getting a car, or getting a bungalow, you want to become that. When you're old also, you want to become. Some elder, they're not happy when their children don't give birth to next generation, because they also want to promote to become Datuk Datin. Right? Isn't it? You see the process of wanting to become. When we're very old, we say, oh, next life, I want to become a deva. Still becoming. He said, how many of you wish to realize Nibbana? And some will say, oh, Venerable, do you mean Nibbana means nothing already? Nothing I don't want to be, I don't want to realize Nibbana because there's nothing there. You see the mind? You wish for freedom, right? But to realize Nibbana means is to realize that ultimate freedom. Not binding anymore in any way. Just like what the Buddha do, what all the Arhants do. Yeah? But come to say Nibbana, people will think, no, because nothing there. Yeah? Because they use mundane thinking to think about that freedom. Okay? So this is where again the understanding have to be there. Suffering don't exist just the way it is, but suffering comes from the causes. So craving is the causes. Craving for what? Sensual pleasure. So the more you have sensual pleasure, the more suffering you will have. For example, you like to gather things in a house, craving ma. So next, when do cleaning that time, more suffering or less? If you have very simple, things in a house, less suffering ma. Right? It's as simple as that. Yeah? So craving to become, the more you crave to become, the more suffering. Yeah? You crave to be rich, when you get, last time you say, if I have 100,000, I'll be happy. You reach 100,000, not happy again, right? Then you say, if I have 1,000,000, I'll be happy. Have 1,000,000 already, happy or not? Not happy again. So, if you crave to become a successful person, a rich person, all this, who define that? But what you really wish, you say, I would like to become this, so I'll be happy, right? If I have this car, I'll be happy. If I have such a house, I'll be happy. What you really wish is the happiness, not because the car. You wish for happiness, but you have wrong means to reach that happiness. Right? So happiness is not through all these things, because what? You will never get it. After you have it, then again you are unhappy because of due to the craving. Yeah? And you want to become, I said, so if you want to become, then if your daughter-in-law don't give birth to any baby, then very unhappy. Yeah? So all thoughts will come up. Yeah? So you see, because you want to become, just because you want to become, you create a lot of suffering for yourself. Right? And so this is the second one, is craving to become. And some people, they think, I cannot get all the pleasure I want. I am failure, I cannot get what I want to become. Then they take away their life. Craving not to exist. It's also a craving. Day by day, nowadays, you think it's increasing or decreasing? Increasing. Craving not to become. They think if they take away their life, then all problems solved. You think so? That is craving not to become. Suffering too. Where they will end up? Human don't want to be human, then where to end up? Of course, the suffering world, more suffering. Beta world, animal world, hell world. And when they doubt their mind, what will happen in their next life? When they are born, down. Confused mind. So this is the way that we have to understand. Suffering comes because of craving. So if we don't know how suffering comes, also we don't know how to overcome, right? So now we know that, suffering comes from craving. So craving for what? Craving for sensual pleasure. So if you don't crave so much sensual pleasure, less anger, less upset, less everything less. So of course, less suffering, more happy lah. Isn't it? More suffering, less happy, right? It's as simple as that. You don't have to look into the text also, right? So next, becoming. Yeah? So the most important thing is to be humane. Yeah? Human quality. That is what we practice. It's not to become. Yeah? So you can have a PhD, but jump down from, let's say, a tower. So what happened? You can be a doctor, but very unhappy life. Yeah? You can be a lawyer, but feel very guilty. Because why? You fight for those cases, you know that they have money to pay you, but you have to lie. You win the case, but you have to lie. Become very famous too. So all those very rich people will come after you because you're good at fighting their case. But you live, you think you'll be happy? To become a lawyer? At the beginning, most of them, they feel cheated. Lawyer is supposed to put justice in place. But when they become lawyer, then only they know the world of justice. They become injustice. Too hard? Right? Doctor, supposed to save life. But when they're blinded with money, do you think they save life or they kill life? Kill. Many cases actually, sometimes wrong medication, sometimes negligent, sometimes you don't need operation, they suggest you to do operation, it becomes worse. Yeah? So all this we have to understand. Becoming is dangerous sometimes when you want to become. Just like with your nun, people always say, Venerable, why do you become a nun? I say, for me it's not becoming. Yeah? I say, you practice well, then you be one, not because you want to become. Because if you want to become, you shave your head and put yourself in a robe. Wow, so many things cannot do it. So many rules, Then you find like, you are, suddenly you realize that you cannot move about. And you find your life is so hard, so difficult. Right? Cannot watch TV already, cannot listen to music. You think cannot. Actually, no, that rules is to protect your refinement of your reducing your sensual pleasure. Yeah? Making you nobody. Right? So that's why monks and nuns look alike, all bald, and then with the rope, right? That's all. So very plain, very simple. Yeah? So most of the thing is cutting down all these things. Yeah? To refine more and more the physical, the behavior, the thoughts and everything. So if you wish to become, it's suffering. Yeah? But if you practice and you be one, then you find joy and happiness. Yeah? Because you're not binded because you want to become. Yeah? Just like if you wish to be a doctor, what entails a doctor? Means first the thought of compassion, saving life. So no matter what, whether got money, no money, when you see life needs to be saved, naturally with your heart, you say. And that brings a lot of joy and blessing, not only to you, the people that get that treatment also, they will feel that touch of life, that touch of compassion and love. Yeah? So this is where we have to understand. Cause of suffering, 3. One is craving for sensual pleasure. Second, craving to become, or craving for existence. 3, craving not to become. Right? So remember, anyone that you think have this kind of thought, please let them know. Not to take away their life, because the life is precious, and if they take away their life, it is a human form, they end up in worse situation. So that's not the way to overcome suffering. The way to overcome is when we reduce all our craving, then we will have less suffering. And that's how we overcome suffering. Right? So first we need to know there is cause of suffering. And the next level we have to do is we ought to know, or we ought to eradicate the cause of suffering. Make effort to eradicate them. Third, the Buddha said you must fully eradicate them. Right? Fully eradicate them. Because if you still got some remnants, it will still make you go on to suffer. Okay? And the third, the Buddha said, noble truth of the realization of there's an end to suffering. So everything that causes you angry or upset and all that, there's an end to it. Yeah? And this end, of course, the Buddha showed us a path that ultimately is called Nibbana. Yeah? Enlightenment or liberation, or knowing the ultimate truth. Right? So this, there is an end to it, the Buddha said, because you have to know there's an end. And you should realize, you have fully realized there's an end to this one. So if there's no end, of course the Buddha won't mention. But although there's suffering, there's an end to it. Right? And then the last part, the Buddha said, the path that leads to this end of suffering, that is none other again, noble eightfold. You see how we start? Start with right understanding. What are the right understanding? 4 noble truths. So first noble truth is to understand there is suffering. Second noble truth is to fully eradicate the cause of suffering, the craving. Third noble truth, that have confidence there's an end to it. You need to persistently develop until you realize the end. And fourth, there's a path that leads to that end. So in this way, we know again, from right understanding of this 4 noble truths, that when you put into practice, when you have this in mind with the right understanding, the next thing, what it will condition you is to have right thought. Most of our thought, what do you think, 24 hours? Wholesome one or unwholesome one more? That's why, if you want to know your thoughts, you just sit for meditation. Even within that 1 minute, you can look into your own mind. Most of the time, wholesome or unwholesome? Unwholesome, right? So, is unwholesome? Then, noble search. What do we do with that unwholesome thoughts? Or how can we transform it? Possible, right? The Buddha said, there's an end to that unwholesomeness, so we can end it one. So, what to do with that? Then, of course, the Buddha teach methods of bhavana, means cultivation of the mind. Not just meditation. A lot of people think meditation, I go for meditation, they sit down, they didn't follow instruction. People ask them to, be fully aware of their breath, but they sit down there and they keep thinking. So they didn't train their mind. They didn't follow instruction. They didn't do it. So where will they lead to? More headache. Not because the instruction is not right, because they don't follow the instruction. You see, Anna? People say go for meditation, but the Buddha never mentioned this word meditation. The Buddha said bhavana. Bhavana means cultivation of the mind. So if I were to ask you, if you sit down and think a lot, is that bhavana? Straight you can tell me no. But people say, I go for meditation. You see them sit down there, right? Close their eyes. So that is called meditation, right? But is that the cultivation? No. So the Buddha mentioned bhavana. Bhavana means very specifically cultivation of the mind. So we know by sitting down, close our eyes, is that bhavana? Unless you follow the method of training properly. Without that understanding, you may be going for meditation, sit there, people ask you to, be aware of your in-breath and out-breath, then you go and sit down there and keep thinking and entertaining your thoughts as usual. Right? And so you don't train your mind, so your mind is not going to be tamed. They will still go very well. Right? So that is not bhavana. Or maybe you come to meditation, you sit down, and then the moment after instruction finish, then you do so. Is that bhavana? No, right? So this is where you have to now, at least next time when you go for meditation, remember the word bhavana. Right? So then you will be like, oh, this is not bhavana. Better sit up straight again. And then try again. And again. This is how we can recondition our thoughts, our mind, the state of our mind. So we need to recalibrate. Unless you are like, always ever smiling, have metta in your heart, very at ease, very contented, very at peace, able to embrace, very functional, very effective, and lead a very, dharmic life, so that'll be fine. But if you are not, then you better do something. That's why the Buddha said, with that right understanding, then it will condition your right. There's suffering, right? You need to eradicate the cause of suffering. So, what are the causes? When you meditate also, it will come to your mind. For example, if you have craving, so craving, let's say when you sit, then only you say, why this cushion so hard one? What craving is that? Craving for body, pleasure, right? Sometimes when you sit, then people ask you to close your eyes, but still in the close of you close your eyes, still you can see things. It happen or not? Happen, right? Close eye already actually cannot see things, right? But you still see things. That is your mind. Your mind attached to seeing. So all the images will pop up, right? So the more you crave, the more you see, the more it will come into your meditation. Because our brain got station that we play things on. The more you put the input, the more it will replay. So sometimes when you sleep, you are not sleeping, the mind still working. So that's why when you wake up, you still feel tired. So you need to train. So this is where meditation or bhavana helps you to retrain your mind so it becomes more wholesome, healthy, and pure. So then it will help you in your life. Right? So the right thoughts consist of these three aspects. First is the thought to reduce sensual pleasure. So in the Buddha's teaching, you see, we are not religious in that sense, but we're practical. If you experience all the suffering, don't you want to overcome it? If yes, what can we do? First, tune our thought. Because whatever comes out into your action comes from your thought. Right? So a thought will break into speech. So speech will break into your action. Action, if you keep doing it, it will become your habit. So someone last time, long time sent me this, what they call, definition about habit. You know habit? They say if you take away the H, you still have a bit. If you take away the A, you still have bit. If you take away the B, you still have it. So it's so difficult to actually change habit, because this habit is from life after life, life after life. So many life you are in the habit. What you are now actually is all your habit. Yeah? So it's a pre-programmed already. You know? Sometimes you want to do this, but you end up doing another thing. Right? You know this is not good, but yet you do that. Why? Because so habitual. Yeah? I think maybe most of you who drive, sometimes did you you want to go somewhere, then you drive back home, or you drive to your office, the road, yeah? And then say, hey, I'm going somewhere. But how come, they direct you? So this is, we call habit. It's like pre-programmed in your mind. Yeah? So if you are not watchful, if it's wholesome, then it's good. But if you're unwholesome, you have to be watchful. Change. Right? But you see, if you have your habit, so particular habit, so at the end, it will end to when habit keep developing, it become your, what do you call? Most of the time, have you heard that people say, don't tell me what to do, I am like that one. We hear that often? Yeah. So when habit keep forming, then it becomes your character. Have you seen people with very strong character? Very difficult to change, right? Yeah? So you see, from a thought, break into speech, break into your action. Action you do again and again become your habit. Habit, you keep doing your habit, it becomes your character. After this character pillar in this life, what happened? Next, it becomes your destiny. Have you seen people, human, but you look at them, this is really heaven. You see at that person's character. You say, this is really a human, that like heavenly beings thrive on earth. Sometimes you look at certain people, you see, wow, this is relating to the animal world already. Or you look at them and say, wow, this one is like METTA. Have you seen? Sometimes. Because why? It's that character built up already. And it leads to whether it's a heavenly states kind of being or the lower being. No need to die to go there. In this life already during that. So that's why be watchful. What habit we have, look, wholesome, unwholesome. If unwholesome, learn to abstain from them. Wholesome one not coming yet, because why? We all wish at least to become human, right? Or else at least heaven. If you have no wish to Nibbana yet, but at least you must keep in mind Nibbana. You try to work. If you cannot reach there, at least heaven. Right? So, but how do we, in that heavenly state or state that is purified until that you don't have to come again and again, you can totally free yourself? You must have, If no, that is where the direction goes. So that's why the association with the wise is so important. Abstaining from the food is also a blessing. First, abstaining from the food. Second, associate with the wise. So these are the things that we have to, like I said, noble search, then you know the noble path, right? So now the noble path, come to the second one is, when you have this right understanding, it will condition your right thought. Okay? So precisely like METTA is in right thought. There are three aspects of right thought. The first is I told you all to reduce craving, right? Reduce the craving of sensual pleasure. That is right thought. So if your sensual pleasure increase, what do you think? Suddenly your sensual pleasure starts to increase already. So you are gearing for more suffering. Reduce, then you know, lesser. Right? So now if let's say you love shopping, some people when they go shopping in a shopping place, They look at something, very nice, right? They don't need, but they buy, keep in the cabinet and keep. So every year, then the husband will say, how come you got so many things, Clean, 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 never ending cleaning, It's because of that craving, But then now, no need, right? Google, what, Grab. You can do online, right? Also, now people got habit, this shopping habit, online shopping. Yeah? Now more convenient, they say, worse, the house become more, the store become more, right? So reducing craving is a right thought. Lesson of suffering. Okay? Cravings are sensual pleasure. Yeah? Then the next quality of right thought is called metta. Yeah? So metta, loving kindness. Loving kindness, in English, you can combine these few qualities into metta. English people translate as loving kindness. But the total meaning, one word cannot represent all. So you can have the goodwill. Most of them translate on goodwill. Boundless love means a love that is no boundary, no discrimination. Then I can say kindness, and then also friendliness, and also forgiveness. So in one word, metta, so many qualities to practice. It seems very near, but it's different, right? When I say goodwill, so goodwill is the main one that we must learn to practice. So right thought, metta, means every time we must instill, bring about this thought of goodwill. Do you experience when you see somebody, then in your mind you say, got that kind of experience sometimes? That is not goodwill, that's ill will. What have that person got to do with you that you have to feel that, the yucky feeling? Means the heart is not having goodwill to even embrace everything that anyone that comes into your life or into you. So if you don't cultivate the mind, you will tend to have that. Worse is that some, you see your friends, the moment they see somebody, they can even complain to you, hey, how come that person, so many things come up. Right? Then if you are not careful, you also champo. Right? So we don't have to. Right? So these are the things that we have to, as a Buddhist, we must know what we are practicing, the path of practice. So right thought, metta is one of it, and this metta is so important, because without right thought, without metta, you will create a lot of ill will. Because it will break into your speech. It will break into your speech. Sometimes you may not know that whether that speech is wholesome or not wholesome, or bring about well-being or not. Sometimes. So, for example, if you are not careful, you may bring out speech which is very unwholesome because also of habit. So I remember one time my colleague, because thought break into speech, and she suddenly picked up unwholesome word. Of course, it comes from the mind, right? So in English, I think a lot of people use also a lot of unwholesome words because unwholesome thought. English, one of the common one, bullshit, stupid, and these are not good word, the word that brings about good feeling. So my this colleague, she used Chinese. I don't know where she picked up. Earlier she don't have this habit. Suddenly she picked up the word like, when something happens, she says, "Gao sai." Or she will say, "Oh yeah." You think good word, huh? You feel good or not when you listen? Suddenly out of nowhere somebody said, "Gao sai." So at that time I was thinking, I want to help her to change that, but I have to find the right time. So one day she come to my office, and then we were talking about something. Suddenly, she said this word, "Gao sai." So I thought, this is time I can share with her. So what I said to her, I said, "Miss Lee, you dress so nice," and she make up. I said, you dress so nice, and your makeup so nice. Oh. I said, the moment you open your mouth, say, outside, I said, all those things draw. Then she got like stunned, looking at me. But I think that is the right time to let her know. So I said, maybe the next time, if you want to say something out, like Malaysia, Malata, huh? I said, why not, instead of outside, I said, why not, if I say, you want to say something, I say, Amitabha. And then she picked up that. She got it. I hit the right button. So some other time I remember when she wants to say that word, again that she will pause and then say, Amitabha. That's it. Isn't it? Yeah, you see, from the top, you break into this and you don't know. And because your habit, yeah. I see sometimes a lot of people, they are talking about very scientific thing on that, but they use a lot of this kind of abusive word. It's all from the thought. The thought is not refined. That's why only we throw out all this kind of word. But sometimes you say, very common ma. But the thing is, when this word come and hit you, you think common? You feel good? Commonly feel good? No. So you see how thought, what's your thought? Whatever thoughts that comes up, it will translate into your speech. It will also translate into your action. Yeah. So sometimes, like, parents, isn't it? You may scold your children and all those things. So whether it's with loving kindness or not, yeah. I still remember my mom used to also share that with me. Because when I was teenage, sometimes I'm quite, not so rebellious, but if things are not right, I will answer. Yeah? So one day my mom, she suddenly, because kampong, last time we are commonly using certain words. So she said, silang kia. So I don't know why, that day I looked at my mom, I said, Mom, you scold me silang kia. I said, if I am silang kia, then you are? Then, that hit my mom. My mom suddenly realized that since then she never used this word anymore. So sometimes when we talk, my mother will bring up this, luckily you tell me. Yeah? Because you learn from your parents, right? They scold you like so easily, so you pick up that word, you scold your children also pick up, scold your grandchildren. Yeah? But these are all coming from thoughts. But if you don't realize, it becomes something, like maybe you don't say anything, but in your heart you don't feel good, right? So these are the things we have to watch out. These are all your practices. You don't have to read sutta, you can know everything, but in your action, if you do all this, still the right thought is not there, right? We have to make effort to change. Yeah, in the past we don't know, now we get to know. So we have to put into practice. The path is there, but the practice we got to do, right? So right thought, metta is so important because with this, then the way we think will help us to speak wholesomely, to act wholesomely. Yeah? So many things that we learn, like I said, we can learn a lot of things, but if we don't put into practice, then we will say, learning without practice is of no use. Yeah? Learning without practice is of no use. So we can talk metta for long hours. We can go and listen to metta so long time. But if you don't practice it, we are telling you to practice. It's not that difficult to practice. Yeah. First, I say start with a smile. Your smile actually indicates friendliness. Yeah, and it's so important. Sometimes we may not have things around us, but that smile is a help to convey that we do care. Yeah, and we are there, to help. Yeah, and this I also share with people. One time I was in the hospital for my yearly checkup, and I saw this young lady. She was sick on the wheelchair, and I think maybe the parents must be very busy. So she's, I think, maybe early 20s, a maid with her. So it must be parents very busy. So then she was sitting down there holding a cross, and she looked into front in a very blank way. It must be something terminal or something very serious. So I was standing about maybe about 6-7 feet away. When I was looking at her, I just felt for her, like no hope. Yeah. She really look into them. The eyes also don't blink, So then in my heart I was like, I feel very, very, can feel her sadness, like hopelessness. And then in my heart, suddenly this thought, I would say this thought of METTA. I was in my heart, I was wishing her, may you be well and happy. Then after that, I was thinking, looking at her again, I said, what can I do for her? What can I do for her? I asked myself. So then I braved myself, I just went to her, I just hold her hand, I looked into her eyes, I said, sister, you'll be alright. When I say like that to her, the moment is like, suddenly you see like a surge of hope that comes to her. She look up and she look at me. I just smiled at her and said, you'll be alright, I said. But just doing that, I can feel, her being suddenly changed to at least, some things. I don't give her money, I don't know her. She's also a Christian, I see the cross. But, heart to heart. So these are the things that I say in our life. It's not about so much about providing your children or providing your loved ones so many things, but truly heart, your heart. In terms of need, you are there. In terms of ignorant, you are there to help them to develop wisdom. In times of anguish, fear, or whatever, you are there to comfort them, give them the warmth. So we may not know in the person, but we still can do something with our smile, with our heart of compassion. It's from the METTA, it will translate into compassion. That's why the next right thought is about non-cruelty. It's not to harm yourself, not to harm others. So when you can put it in action, then that will help you to condition the way you speak, the way you act, and the way you lead your life. So when you're able to do that, then you'll find more time now. Because less craving, your house got less thing, you got more time, now you can go for meditation. Right? Or else, so busy cleaning up, cooking, cleaning up. So cook also, learn to cook simple, but tasty. So you got to be wise. Or else, no ending with the kitchen, no ending with chores. So, but our life is not just for that. We eat 2 meals also can survive. Eat 1 meal also can survive. But at least, minimum 2 meals. But you don't have to eat 4 meals. Right? So, these are the things, a choice that you can make in your life. Next time, don't say, I got no choice. It's a choice that you have to make. Noble search or ignoble search. Now you're providing the noble path. So the first, right understanding. Second, right thought. So again, I told you, right thought consists of reduction, reducing craving of sensual pleasure. Then have METTA in your heart. And then non-cruelty thoughts. So anything that comes before you do, you ask yourself, will it harm myself? Will it harm this person? Or will it harm both? If the answer is yes in any of this category, don't do it. Okay? If no, continue to do it. Right? So non-cruelty, you ask this question. Will it harm myself? You think. It doesn't harm. Okay. But then it will harm the other person. Then don't do it. So 3 categories. Will it harm myself? Will it harm the others? Or will it harm both? So if the answer is yes, don't do it. Okay? Then before doing also, you ask yourself. Before doing, you ask this question. While doing, ask the question again. After doing, again you reflect again. If all this you have been doing it again and again like that, you will have a new habit of doing all the good things. You see, and you're reducing all your craving. As you keep reducing your craving of sensual pleasure, becoming or non-becoming, then you will increase a lot of this good aspect. Your contentment, your gratitude, your loving kindness, your compassion. So when all these qualities start to develop in your mind, what state will you have? Of course, uplift your mind, right? So much joy, happiness. That is where, how, when we say transformation in the Buddhist practice, is your mind start to transform. It's always in the upper side. When the upper side, if one day we have to drop, that helps to continue with the upper rank. Right? So this is how we practice. Yeah? And for right livelihood, then I said you will have more time, right? When you have right livelihood, which doesn't cause you that kind of guilt, remorse, regret. Then of course your energy field, your time, everything you can gear towards right effort. Right effort means to abandon what is unwholesome, abandon all the, you restrain your sensual pleasure, not to crave for it too much. And then after that, what you do is cultivate mindfulness, cultivate kindness, and that will of course lead you to the joy that springs from your heart. That it is not because of any external object, but is truly from your pure mind, which is refined mind that will experience the true happiness within you. So it leads you to right samadhi. And that right samadhi, the ultimate of the right samadhi is that you will have equanimity. Means a blissful state without grasping. Chinese say 很自在, very at ease. Nothing pump into you. Right? So that needs to be cultivated. And from there, that's why the Buddha said, then you use that sharp knife to go into cutting off all the defilements. And that's how right wisdom will come. And from the right wisdom, then you will start to see actually all processes are only coming and going. And with that, you are not holding to any. That's how you free yourself. That's how liberation will come. Right? So this is the practice, this is the path. Right? So in order to be happy, like I said, free from ill will, hatred, grudges, unhappiness, upset, we need to know how to do it. Right? So metta is only one particular portion, but it is related to the rest. Ill will is the state of the mind. And if a person have good will, then of course all the good state will come. If a person have ill will, it can develop into many. Ill will can develop into envy, jealousy, anger, grudges, hatred, sometimes curse, sometimes inaction, killing. You see, so many varieties. So you have to check every time which one are you in. And if it's here, then better reduce until you have good will. Right? So these are the cultivation. Just now I have shared with you all, what they have around us, and it's important to come to realize that. And second, gear your life purpose towards noble search, because ignoble search is confirmed, guarantee, will not lead you to true happiness. Only noble search will one day lead you to that. And then also I share with you how the noble path. This noble path is called Noble Eightfold Path. And of course, you can check nowadays a lot of information available, right? So if you can take this Noble Eightfold Path, become your yardstick of your practice, I'm sure you won't go wrong. Everything you do, you check back whether you're in line or not. Because this is the way the Buddha discovered to overcome the cycle of suffering. And if we are wise, we know how to make good use of it, practice it, then you will be on the journey to free yourself, to be a happy being. Alright? Thank you very much for your attention.